Hi, Larry.
Hey,
What are you doing?
I am making buttered chicken.
Butter chicken? Really?
Yes, and what I've done is I had this chicken marinated in sauces. Ground masala was a part of the spicing, and then other sauces and garlic and
Ginger?
ginger.
Smells
fenugreek,
delightful.
Lots of things in here with the yogurt, and it marinated for 24 hours in the refrigerator.
Well, where'd you learn how to do this?
Well, this is from Zaved.
Ah, that's his recipe. Look at
Yes.
all these wonderful spices that he got us to get. And then this is his recipe. And this is his recipe for garam masala. So he hand wrote it just for us. And we can't wait to see how this turns out. Hi,
Yeah.
welcome to our kitchen. We want to tell you a little story about when we were in India. This is before the pandemic, right before the pandemic. We came home from India to COVID, but it was a magical time for us. Larry and I, here he is.
Hey.
Say hi.
Hey.
And we met some amazing people. And one of them was a chef called Zaved Islam. And he was on the Bengal Ganga. And we were on the river for a week on the Gangaji. And it was an amazing adventure, 7 days. And this man had to cook for us. And he had to cook for me. And you know, many of you know, maybe you don't, that I'm totally gluten-free. I have celiac disease. And so I went to the chef right away and got to know him a little bit, and told him I gotta be gluten-free. And he said, guess what? Everybody's gonna be gluten-free and they're not gonna know. And he cooked some amazing food for us, and we became friends. And there's a story that we wanted to tell you tonight because Larry came home and he decided he was gonna make butter chicken, and he talked to Zaved about it. And so he'd come up with a recipe off the internet. And he said, hey, you know, what do you think? And I said, well, let me fire this off to Zaved. So I texted him and I sent it to him on WhatsApp. And he called me like 2 minutes later. And he said, you can't do that, you can't do that. He said, one of the recipes that you have to have before you even start butter chicken is garam masala. And he stopped everything he was doing wherever he was in India. And he wrote me this recipe out by hand. And for my dear Jean, he says, garam masala. So then that put us on an epic journey because it was COVID. And we had to get all this stuff. And we had to find out how to grind it.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. And this is a lot of things. You can see a lot of items to make the garam masala. And it was interesting because we made it and we compared it to what you can buy in the store, and man, there's no comparison. This is why Zaved is such an award-winning chef. So then we're following his recipe tonight, and the butter chicken is just delicious. And we've already made it once, and this is our second time. So we'll send some pictures, and glad that you got to hear our story about Zaved and his generosity of sharing this wonderful recipe with us.
All right.
Hi. Welcome to our kitchen. We're cooking Indian food tonight, and one of our favorite recipes is from a man that we met when Larry and I were traveling on the Gangaji, the great Ganga River, the Ganges. People are familiar with it. We were privileged to get to spend, 7 days and nights on this wonderful luxury ship and experience the inside part of India. And one of the problems for me traveling as a celiac is making sure I'm, getting gluten-free food everywhere I go. So being on a ship, you're pretty certain I'm going to get to know the chef, and I did, and we've become friends, and for a lifetime, Zaved Islam Sek. So he's a wonderful cook. He teased me and he said, I think everybody on the ship is gluten-free this time. They don't even know. And the food was magnificent. And Larry and I came back from India and to COVID, and the world changed. And one day we wanted to travel in our kitchen. So we came up with the idea of cooking butter chicken and looked up a recipe, and I had the idea, let's send it to Zaved and see what he thinks of this recipe. And he called me. He absolutely called me 2 seconds later and said, don't cook that. Don't make it like that. And he said, first of all, there's this thing called garam masala, and you can't just buy it. You have to make it. That's the first thing you have to make. And garam masala is a spice. You can buy it in the store like this, or you can use 100 different ingredients with this handwritten recipe that Zaved made for me, and grind them up, and it is a world better. So we're going to use the garam masala and make butter chicken tonight. Larry's already working on it as I speak, and it's delicious, and we're so thankful for Zaved for his generosity in sharing his recipe, and I can't wait to share it with you. Putting it in the oven now. It's going to be, what, about 3 inches?
Yep, 3 inches below, and it's being broiled.
Okay.
And it's about 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
And then we're going to prepare the skillet to make the rice.
Right.
And the butter chicken when we're done. Over here we have garlic, ginger, and onions. Garlic, ginger, nut, and of course a lot of butter and a whole lot of spices.